Welcome to Drama-Free Healthy Living with Jess Cording. I'm your host, Jess Cording. I'm a registered dietitian, health coach, and author, and I'm here to help you streamline your wellness routine and establish a sane, more balanced relationship with food and fitness so you can reach your goals without losing your mind. On this podcast, we'll talk about nutrition, exercise, self-care, mindset, and more. I'll be bringing you interviews and expert insight on the topics that matter to your health and wellness. Welcome back to the Drama-Free Healthy Living podcast. I'm your host, Jess Cording. I'm so happy you're joining me today. I'm thrilled to welcome my RD friend, Frances Largeman-Roth, back to the podcast. It's been way too long since we've caught up on here, but I'm thrilled that she's here today to talk to you guys. So Frances Largeman-Roth is a registered dietitian nutritionist, a New York Times bestselling author, as well as a nationally recognized nutrition and wellness expert. She's the author of Feed the Belly, Pregnant Mom's Healthy Eating Guide, as well as Eating in Color, delicious, healthy recipes for you and your family. She's also the co-author of the best-selling The CarbLovers Diet. Her latest book, Everyday Snack Tray, was released in November of 2023. So we're talking all the snacks today. So Frances, in addition to writing some really wonderful books, is also a contributor to several publications such as Today.com, Parents, Parade, and Shape. She's appeared on numerous national TV shows, and she also contributes expert quotes to publications all over the place to help bring healthy food to you and help brands share their message. She's also a member of the James Beard Foundation and the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So Frances and her husband and 3 kids live outside of New York. So we met back when we were both living in I was living in Manhattan. I think they were based in Brooklyn at the time. And it's just been nice to, stay in touch, and she's always such a joy to talk to. And I think that you guys are going to love to hear what she has to say about how to use snack trays to add nutrition and fun to everyday eating. We also talk about how they can simplify entertaining. And we do talk about things like how she gets inspiration for snack trays, what the process of writing her latest book was like, and also what would be on her ultimate snack tray. So without further ado, guys, let's get to the episode. Frances, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Jess. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I was going back through the archives, and I realized it's been like a few years since we last did this. And I don't know where the time goes. I was going to blame COVID math, but wow, it's nice to have you back.
It's great to be here.
So for those of our listeners who haven't met you yet, can you just tell us briefly just kind of, who you are, what you're about?
Sure. Yeah. So I was a magazine editor at Health for quite a while, and then I left there and started writing books on my own. I wrote Eating in Color. I'm very passionate about getting people to eat well, but in a fun way. And that's what that book was about. And I do a lot of freelance writing for publications like Today.com, Shape.com, and recipe development. I work with healthy brands to get their message across. And I'm also a mom of 3.
I have to. Your books are gorgeous. Like you do, and your Instagram, like you do such a great job of making it look fun to eat healthfully. Like even if I wasn't a dietitian, I think a lot of your recipes and the things that you share, they're cute and they're fun, but I feel like they also look approachable. Like someone looking at it could be like, oh, I could do that.
Thank you. Because that's exactly what I'm going for.
Yeah, and I loved. You guys, we're going to link to the Everyday Snack Trays book in the show notes so you can check it out for yourself. It is such a gorgeous book, and I love the topic. I think I have a partner who loves snacking. Like, I will make dinner, and then I just know that right after dinner, he's just going to snack. Like, he would snack all day and not actually eat meals and be totally fine. But, you also do a great job of showing how snack trays can be healthy. And just for our listeners who might not be familiar with what that is, can you tell us briefly what are snack trays?
Yeah, well, they really can run the gamut. I mean, you can make a snack tray out of anything. It can be made up out of your leftovers, or it can be, items that you might want to snack on while you're watching a movie. It can be items that you're going to put together to have taco night, or it could just be, at its most basic, maybe it's cheese and crackers and fresh fruit. So you can go big, you can go small, you can really make it your own.
I love that. And, I think that by the time this comes out, I'm like, are people still going to be talking about girl dinner? But I feel like it's like the way that, like, as an RD, I would want people to look at, like, like this is like a healthier version of that, or like a more comprehensive version, without like the diet culture aspect. But something I really liked about your approach to snack trays was, because I think sometimes on social media we see all these different like put together dishes and snack trays and but it looks challenging, right? We're like, oh, I can't do that. But something I loved about your book is that you have all these suggestions for like where to find trays, what types of cups and jars to use to put little ingredients on. And I want people to check out the book and find out for themselves. But I'd love to hear if you have a few favorite resources that you might want to share for some of the snack tray essentials, or, where people might look for getting those supplies.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that I love about making trays is you really don't need complicated equipment or anything like that, but you will need some kind of a board. I know several people who use baking sheets, like a very clean baking sheet with a rim on it, which is helpful because then once you put your little ramekins and bowls on it, you don't want them to slide off. And you can use things like ramekins that you might already have, or little glass prep bowls. Even shot glasses can work for certain things. So before you go whole hog and spend a lot of money, you can probably use a lot of items that you already have around the house. But if you're looking to sort of expand your collection, I go to places like Marshall's and TJ Maxx and find lots of very, very cute, but very, very cheap items there. And then, for a really awesome set of prep bowls, Williams-Sonoma, they always keep those in stock. And for boards, I mean, there are ones that I've found on Amazon, and then there are ones that I've found at places like Room and Board and, sort of like higher end online stores. So there's so many places that have these types of items these days. And also a set of cheese knives would probably also be a good thing to have.
Yeah, note self. That's like, I feel like I have so many like kitchen gadgets and like so many different types of like glassware and dishware and but like I was doing something the other day where I needed cheese knives. And I was like, oh shit, I don't have those. Like it's like such a random thing. Well, I wanted to chat a little bit because as an RD, I know I tend to be like very functional about the way that I approach meal planning. And, I'm not like, people do not come to my platforms for the pictures, like I don't do like really beautiful. Okay, I've come a long way, but presentation is not my strong point. But from a nutrition standpoint, as a dietitian, like when we're talking about snack trays, like what are some of the things that you love about them that you want people to know is important in terms of nutrition?
Well, I think the great thing about snack trays, and basically where I came to this idea from, was feeding 3 little kids who didn't eat a whole lot at once. And so they would have leftovers. I would keep the leftovers. And out of desperation, I started serving the food in little bowls. And then the light bulb went on because they were eating more in that style of presentation than they were having their plate filled with all these different foods. So one reason why I love a snack tray, a nutrition reason, is that you can get kids and grown-ups to try things that perhaps they wouldn't normally try because it's very, very low risk. You're not putting it on somebody's plate with the expectation that they need to try it or they need to finish it. It's just there. And it's you can dabble, you can take a piece, you can try it or not. So I think that is a great way to foster exploration without putting pressure on anybody. And another thing is you can introduce, brand new foods that way. Maybe your family hasn't tried, I don't know, persimmon. And so you're going to put persimmon on your snack tray. And again, it might be, wait, what is this? This looks weird. Or I haven't tried this before, but it's another way to present a new food. And we know as dietitians that it can take 15 to 20 introductions to a new food for a kid to try it. I don't know if we have statistics on adults and, trying new foods, but, you have to sort of offer things in a very welcoming fashion for people, so that they feel like, it's okay to try it and maybe not like it.
I love that, taking the pressure off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. To your point, I find that adults can be sometimes just as challenging in that way. Like, I know, I do a lot of like client counseling, and there've been so many times when someone's like, we meet for the first time, they're like, not going to get me to eat cottage cheese. Nope, not happening. Not eating, I don't like vegetables. And I'm almost like, that's fine. Here are some things that if you want to try them, here's some ways to try them. You don't have to. But I love the idea of presenting things in little snack trays. I think that, like you said, so low risk, and it's pretty and it's fun, colorful.
Exactly. Yeah. And, for me, it's a creative outlet because, being a dietitian isn't always the most creative job in the world. And so it's fun for me to do things that are themed. My youngest and we're doing a little research last night. We were watching Mean Girls because we wanted to see what are the food references in Mean Girls, and can we actually put together a Mean Girls snack tray. And so, that one in particular will not be intended to be super nutritious, but fun, right? And I think that you can just do so many different fun things. I have heard of people doing ski shootery. So they're putting the snacks on skis. They'll like pack it out in their backpack and then present the food on skis, which is super interesting to me. I think, again, it's just people are looking for, snacking has become kind of a national pastime. And I think people are looking for different and new ways to do it.
I love that. And I know we're talking about, snacking here, but like, how can these be used for meals?
They can absolutely be used for meals. And, think about things that you don't need a ton of cutlery for. So taco night can totally be turned into a snack tray, and think about kind of expanding your repertoire in terms of the toppings. So, yes, you're going to have salsa, you're going to have cheese, but maybe you're also going to try a blueberry salsa, or diced jicama, or shredded red cabbage, and things like that. And again, it's a great way to provide some variety. So, maybe I'll go with some ground turkey meat that I've sauteed with taco seasoning, but I'm also going to have black beans on this tray as well. So providing different options for people. And again, maybe you're going to try something in a new way that you've never tried before. And another thing I want to mention about these snack trays is you're only required to make one recipe. That is it. So we're not making this super fussy. It's one thing, and then you're buying everything else and then just arranging it a little bit.
Oh, cheers to that.
Yeah, seriously, cheers to that.
Oh my God. I know it gets exhausting. So what about like, if you're entertaining, I would love to hear some of your tips for, how snack trays can help with the, reducing the stress of entertaining.
Yeah, well, even though I was a food editor for 8 years and had done several photo shoots with meals, and, I certainly know how to put a dinner party together, but it causes me a lot of stress. And since this is drama-free, healthy living, I want to point out how you don't have to stress out, because look, most of us just don't have a lot of time, but that can keep you from entertaining and socializing and having people over because you feel like it's just too much, or you only want to do it if you can do it perfectly. And I have found for myself, I am much more likely to invite people over when it's a snack tray situation. And I don't have to make a protein for each person sitting at the table, plus, two vegetables and a salad and, a bread thing. And, that it gets to be a lot. And also, guess what? Food is expensive these days. So all of those groceries, say for 6 people, are going to add up. If you do a really beautiful snack tray, plus maybe some other little nibbles, people are going to be just as happy, especially if you have a good wine.
Right.
Or some good beer, some craft beer on hand. And so you can be festive, you can make things look pretty, you can have enough food for people to feel full without having it be this, high stress sit down dinner situation.
Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that. I know yes, I'm an introvert at heart. Who are we kidding? But, I like seeing my people, but oh man, like having house guests stresses me out more than almost anything. I don't know why. It just like sends me into a tailspin. And we had a Halloween party this year, which was really fun. But at first I was like so stressed, like, oh my God, what am I going to do about food? And I was like, oh, I can do snacks and candy and like, it's all going to be okay. And it was great. And nobody was like, there wasn't enough food. I missed having a good, complete meal. Like,
Good for you. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
But so when you are, I'm curious to hear if these are like two different approaches, but like I'm curious to hear both, if you're thinking about an idea for a snack tray, like sort of what that process is. And is that, when you're coming up with the development of recipes for the book, if what that process was like. I'd love to hear like the method behind your snack tray creation.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I did not have a long time to put it together. I had 6 weeks
Holy shit.
to not only create all the trays, but also write all these chapters, because the publisher who I went with or who chose me didn't just want recipes and snack trays. They wanted narrative to go along with it and to kind of tell the story. And when do I make these? And what are some family stories behind them and things like that? So I would literally get up in the morning, Jess, and this was in the summer of 22, and I would make a tray. I would order ingredients for the next day tray or the next couple of days, and then go to the computer and just, bang out a text, and then do it all over again and for 6 weeks. And so when I was planning the structure of the book, I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Okay, let's do seasons. And then within seasons, there are different times, right? So in winter, yes, there are the holidays and everybody's celebrating, but then, oh my gosh, now we're in January and now it's freezing cold and I'm bored and there are no more holidays. And now what do I do?
Yeah.
So there are trays to kind of, help you get through the winter. And then there are trays to celebrate spring and all the things that we do in spring. And some of the trays are truly for holidays. You wouldn't just make them for fun, on a Wednesday night. And then some are truly everyday snack trays. So for things like movie night, slumber party, awesome report card, date night, you're going to have a date night at home because oops, you blew the budget for the month already and it's going to be a date night at home. So I tried to make them very practical, but then also elevated and kind of what you would want to see. There's one called staycation. So when you're bummed out that you're not going anyplace for spring break, but you want to bring those tropical vibes into your living room, what can you put on a snack tray that will help you do that? So there was a lot of creativity and a lot of like dreaming about what I would want on a snack tray.
I love that. And so this episode's going to be going live right before Valentine's Day. So I'd love to hear some of your what you would put on a Valentine's Day snack tray.
Absolutely. Chocolate covered strawberries. You cannot go wrong with those.
Yeah.
And so easy to make too. And you can do not just a dark chocolate drizzle, but you could also, you could dip them in dark chocolate, but then you can do a drizzle with white chocolate or milk chocolate and some sprinkles. And Then I love adding blood orange on a Valentine's Day tray because it's so beautiful. And again, something that maybe not everybody has tried before. And then like chocolate, 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 but you can also do brie. I take a wheel of brie,
Oh.
I cut it into a heart. And you could certainly do, there are no crackers here, but you could certainly do crackers. Brownies, you don't have to make the brownies from scratch. You could literally, buy them from the store and then cut them into heart shapes. There are a lot of things that I encourage people to buy from the store.
Actually, after reading your book, I actually went on Amazon and I ordered some heart-shaped cookie cutters. I was like, this is so cute. Why don't I have these? I want to cut all my food in heart shapes now. So
Yes.
thank you for the inspiration.
I love that. I love that. And honestly, it's such an easy thing to do, but it visually just kind of sends your brain down a different pathway. Just it's just a lot more fun.
Well, it's those little things. They make such a difference, right? And like I think we all need like a little bit of a escape down those more fun pathways these days.
Yes, absolutely, especially in the dead of winter, when the days are so short and it's just cold. And then there's another really fun one, a hot chocolate bar. So you make the hot chocolate mix. That is the recipe that I suggest you make. But of course, you don't have to make your own hot chocolate mix. You can use whatever you like. And then it's all the things that you would use to put on top, the whipped cream, the sprinkles, the cinnamon, little sort of mint sticks that you might use as a stir, and then little muffins and cookies and things like that you would eat alongside your hot chocolate. So I take a lot of inspiration also from my kids. When I present a snack tray and they come running and they're like, oh, this is amazing, Mom, this looks so great, then I keep the idea. If they are not that enthusiastic about it, then maybe I need to come up with a different idea.
Yeah, so I'd love to hear what are some of either their most favorites, or if there are any that you like thought were going to be like everyone's going to love this, and then they were like, like I'd love to hear like some of your family's favorites and like even and then the ones that were maybe not the favorites.
Yeah, well, I will say that there's a slumber party one that I do make, and it's a combination of course, things that you're encouraging your kids to eat, like carrots and fruit. But then I do throw some gummy worms on there because you are considered to be a hero mom if you have some gummies in the mix. And then I also have a no bake cereal bar on there as well. That's really fun. And the whole idea for a slumber party snack tray is that you've already fed them dinner. This is the sort of after dinner time period, and you want to present it in a way that like they don't have to come back to you again. Like, this is it for the night, kiddos. Have fun. So they love that one. We also had a lot of fun making a Barbie themed snack tray this summer, which was just we went a little bit over the top and it was totally fun. I got this, it wasn't a cookie cutter, but it was sort of a stamp off of Etsy that had the word Barbie in the Barbie lettering. And we used that to do cutouts of watermelon. And, they thought that was the best thing in the world. So, you sort of play into their preferences, but also, you offer up new things. And I have to tell you that my son, Leo, who's 12 now, he took it upon himself the other day to take a dragon fruit, which I have put on snack trays in the past, and cut it up and eat it the other night, even though, I was saving it for something else. But I was so thrilled that he took the initiative to serve that to himself because this is no longer a scary, weird thing. This is, something approachable to him now. So, and I have to credit my snack trays for that.
I love that. That's so cute. And I know that feeling though when you're like you're saving it for like something and you're like, oh crap. But that's great that you're eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And that's such a great like case study in how the snack trays can make things approachable to people. So like if you are, I know we were kind of talking about making snack trays for like your family and, like gatherings, but what about like a snack tray for one? Like, I'd love to hear some, because I definitely have a lot of clients I work with who they live by themselves, but they're still interested in like eating healthy, but they don't really want to do like a lot of cooking. And I feel like a snack tray could probably be great for that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is kind of where girl dinner came out of in a sense. And I don't like the term girl dinner, but I think what it ultimately means is it's for you. That's my
I
interpretation.
like that. I like that interpretation.
Yeah, it's just for you. And my family went away this summer for a week without me, and I took advantage of that time to eat only what I wanted to. And I made several little, me time girl dinner trays. And, so for protein, I was using things like hummus and hard boiled eggs. And I'm a cheese lover. So I pretty much always included some cheese, olives, easy vegetables. So things like I like the fancier baby carrots, which you can sometimes find in the grocery store. They're not the little tiny sort of
Oh, I
perfect.
know the ones you mean. Yeah, those are, I love those. I'm very picky about baby carrots because sometimes they're slimy and they're like too hard and like, but I know the ones you mean. I love those.
Yeah, and they're sort of mid-size, a mid-size carrot. So love those. Cucumber spears, cherry tomatoes, things like that. Or maybe even, at Trader Joe's, sometimes I'll find tamales. So maybe one tamale would be on, an individual dinner. So, again, if you try to think about things that go together, you could do a Mediterranean style dinner for one that's snack tray style. You could do an Asian style one. You could do a Mexican style one. So I think that can sometimes having a theme can help fill things out a little bit. But obviously, that's only if you're planning, right? You don't necessarily have all these items on hand. You can cobble together really whatever you want. But I love to see a protein, a carbohydrate, and then some kind of healthy fat on a tray.
That's like, I feel like one day when I'm a very old lady and I won't remember like so many things, I will still be like walking around saying protein, fat, and carbohydrate. Like, it's just like, I don't know how many times a day I say that, but it's true. It's like, it keeps you full, it keeps your blood sugar stable, so your energy and your mood are good. Like, it's an important thing.
It is an important thing. And then, maybe to that, you might add, protein, carb, fat, and something fun. And so maybe for you, that's going to be a small wedge of brie. Maybe for somebody else, it's going to be a piece of dark chocolate, which, oh my gosh, I had a piece of dark chocolate in my hands. And now I realize it's like melting everywhere. This is real life, people. This is how it really goes.
Yeah, no, this is, in dietitian, we eat chocolate too. My clients are sometimes shocked by that when I'm like, yes, I eat chocolate and I enjoy it and I don't feel guilty about it.
We totally do. We totally, totally do. So I think, what's important, whether you are making a snack tray or just having a snack in general, it's always, do you have the stuff on hand? Are you well stocked? Because when you're not well stocked and when it's the same thing as like you're out shopping for 3 hours and you get ravenous and then, oops, you don't have any purse snacks. Well, then you have to go find something and maybe it's not going to be a great option. So that's always going to be the key is, do you have stuff on hand that you can, pull out of the fridge, pull out of the pantry, pull out of the freezer to put this well-rounded snack tray together for yourself?
Absolutely. So if you, like the burning question, if you were a snack tray, if there was a Francis snack tray, what would be on it? I know you shared with me some of what you made while your family was out, but like your ultimate snack tray concoction or combination.
Oh my gosh, there would be some kind of a truffle-based cheese.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a huge truffle lover. And luckily, they're now making all these wonderful truffle infused cheeses. So, definitely a little wedge of that. I would absolutely include some olives in the mix. I love some really nice sourdough bread. So a little chunk of that, probably the end piece. That's my favorite. Some good olive oil in a tiny little dish. And then, oh gosh, roasted beets would be fabulous. Some sliced roasted beets. And let me think. I think some grilled or sauteed shrimp would be perfect for the protein. Yeah.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a little summary maybe, but obviously you can get those things any time of year. You could also go with, a lot of people like soup. So that would be a fun thing to make a tray, surround your soup with all these fun things, maybe some grated Parmesan and, a nice roll or a nice piece of bread and some other dippers, because grown-ups like to dip too. Maybe even like a half of a grilled cheese that you have cut into sticks that you can dip into your soup. That would be another very, very comforting winter one.
You are in my brain right now. I have been meaning to get around to trying the grilled cheese sticks to dip in soup, and I just have not been able to get my act together. But it's on my list of recipes I want to try because it just looks so comforting and good.
Yeah, so good.
And you have a chili snack tray too in your book, right? Tell
I
us
do.
about that one.
That is the snow day snack tray. And so that is the idea behind that is you're literally snowed in, although we haven't had one of those days in a long time, Jess.
Not that good.
Yeah. But yeah, so you made chili, you made some cornbread, and then all your toppings that you'd like to put on top of all that. And of course, serve it with a good beer.
Yeah, these are such great ideas, Frances. I appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. This has been so fun.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. And anytime you want to talk snack trays, Jess, just give me a call.
Well, yeah, I could use all the help I can get. There's some I'm so used to just cooking, not from plated meals from scratch, but my brain is so stuck in that mode from just I don't know, just years of working in dietetics. I'm not sure. So I love opportunities to learn to be more creative. So your book has been really, really helpful for that.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
If people want to learn more about your work, obviously buy the book, how can they do so?
They can go to my website, franceslodgemanroth.com, or check me out on Instagram at Frances L. Roth, RD, and it's Frances with an E. And the book is on Amazon, it's on Target, it's on Walmart, and hopefully at your local bookstore too.
Awesome. So we will link to all that in the show notes so you guys can find it. Frances, thank you for coming on the show today. It's been so great to see you.
Thank you, Jess. It's been so much fun.
All right. Well, all you guys listening at home, whether you are, or maybe you're out and about running errands, you're driving, do your thing. I am so happy you're here. If you like what you hear, consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. They do help me continue to bring you great guests like Frances. And as always, guys, I appreciate you and your energy. And yeah, we will talk soon. Thank you for listening to Drama-Free Healthy Living with Jess Cording. We'll see you next time.